Welcome back to the friendly confines of Phil Welch Stadium here in beautiful St. Joseph, Missouri, home of your St. Joseph Mustangs. Another Mink League matchup tonight between the Jefferson City Renegades and your St. Joseph Mustangs. Tyler Raimundo alongside Charlie Marshall. And Charlie, we will hear from you after the national anthem. Start a little bit late here, but we will have lineups, defensive lineups, and more to come after the break. Tyler Raimundo and Charlie Marshall welcome you back to Phil Welch Stadium. And while we have the time, let's get into the starting lineups for tonight. First for the Jefferson City Renegades. Leading off, Cam Lee in center. Batting second behind the plate is Jacob Horschemeyer. Jack Kolobowski to follow. Cy Darnell at short. Braden Hemmers at third. Dane Gray at second. Cooper Walkoff's playing first base. Austin Evans in left. And Braden O'Neill is playing right. Defensively for the Mustangs, Jeter Moses at first, Carson Schrack at second, Jordan Black at third, Mason Holton playing short, Easton Bruce in left, Noah Bodenhausen in center, Logan Miller in right, Kyle Hepburn behind the plate, and on the mound is Aaron Harrington. And for the Renegades, it's Jacob Martin on the bump. You will see him in the bottom half. So Charlie, give me a player to watch, or maybe what do you expect this game? First off, the Mustangs are 3-0 against this team this year. They won 3-2 at home and then went to Jefferson City and won 3-0 and 11-2. You thinking more of the same, or?
Yeah, I like the matchup tonight, especially with Aaron Harrington on the mound for the Mustangs. But this Renegades team is young, and we talked about that before. They have pretty much a roster made up of all freshmen. So the Mustangs have the age advantage, although they're coming off kind of an ugly game last night. So this is an opportunity for them to bounce back against a team that they know they can beat. They've already beaten multiple times this year. There's no reason they should have any slow start tonight with one of their best pitchers on the mound. All signs point towards a Mustangs win for us tonight, Tyler.
That's what Charlie says, and I would have to agree. It's going to be a big test on how the Mustangs respond to a loss yesterday, because they haven't really been cold at all, but they've lost 2 of the last 3. First pitch from Cam Lee is driven pretty well. Noah Bodenhausen going after it, loses his hat in the process, but he'll make the play.
And Cam Lee didn't give us much of a chance to talk about him, but he is without a doubt the best hitter in this Renegades lineup. So a 1-pitch out for Harrington on Cam Lee is a great start to the year, or to the game.
Actually, that's Logan Miller in center, so they switched out the lineups again. So Noah Bodenhausen's in right, Logan Miller in center, and that was Miller who tracked down that ball. So it'll be a 1-0 count to the 2-hitter, Jacob Horschemeyer.
Horschmeyer's kind of a weird situation right here. He's hitting 500 on the year, but only has 16 at-bats. Playing tonight, he does most of the catching for them. I mean, his stats are through the roof when you look at his averages on base percentage and slugging. I mean, unrealistic, almost video game numbers.
That one's ground to Holton at short. And quickly 2 up, 2 down in the top half of the first. So Aaron Harrington supporting a 1.69 ERA. Charlie, let's look at the ERA leaders in the Mink League.
You take a look at the Mink League leaders. You're going to go here. You're going to go ERA leaders. And, I mean, it says it for itself. I mean, Aaron Harrington knows how to pitch.
So do the rest of the Mustangs.
Yeah, but guess who also knows how to pitch? The Renegades. The Mustangs and the Renegades are the 2 best ERAs in the entire league. Harrington, one of the few starters on this list. Only him and Roy Holcomb really start a ton.
Denton Biller as well.
Yeah. It shows how versatile this team is. They're not too heavy. A lot of teams more dominant in the rotation and struggle late in the innings once they're the relief. Other teams the other way around. The Mustangs, shown right here, a pretty versatile team. Kind of do it throughout the entire pitching staff.
That one hit out to Holton with a big pick at shortstop. And a 1-2-3 inning to start the afternoon for Aaron Harrington. We go to the bottom of the first inning. We'll have the Mustangs lineup. When we come back, keep it here at Phil Welch Stadium. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. You just saw Aaron Harrington throw a 1-2-3 top of the first. And let's see the lineup for the Mustangs on the offense. Noah Bodenhausen leading off. Mason Holton to follow. Carson Schrack at second. Jeter Mose playing first. Kyle Hepburn at second. Easton Brewston left. Trevor McCullum's DHing. Jordan Black at third. Logan Miller is actually playing center field, not right field.
So lineup
switcheroo. Yeah. They switched that lineup twice. We got the first switch, but then they did it again, and I was
we both thought it was weird that Miller wasn't in center.
Yeah, Noah Bodenhausen sliding over to right. I was like, wow, I didn't know he threw left-handed. Then I was like, wait, he played shortstop as well. So that is a starting lineup for the Mustangs. Defensively, the Renegades look like this. Jack Holubowski's DHing. Cooper Walkoff at first. Braden Hemmer at second. Braden O'Neill is in right. Okay, excuse me. Sorry about that. Braden O'Neill at second. There's 2 Bradens.
They're looking at the line.
Dane Gray's at second. There we go. Dane Gray's at second. Braden Hemmer at third. Cy Darnell at short. Austin Evans in left. Cam Lee in center. Braden O'Neill in right. Jacob Horschmeyer behind the plate. And starting on the mound is Jacob Martin. When we left off, we talked about the pitching prowess on both these teams. What can we expect from Jacob Martin and the second best ERA team in the Renegades?
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Martin on the year kind of goes with the rest of this Renegades team. I mean, she showcases one of the better ERAs on the team at 3.86. He has a pretty good strikeout tonight, about 7.
That one's driven into the gap by Noah Bodenhausen. He might have extra bases to start the bottom half of the frame.
Who's going to go for it?
It's going to be a good throw from Cam Lee. But Bodenhausen sliding in safely. So before we could really blink, all of a sudden the Mustangs have a runner on second.
Yeah, Bodenhausen with a great piece of hitting, coming up there, knowing exactly what he's trying to do, staying within himself. A good poke right into that left center gap, and then showcasing some speed, sliding in for a leadoff double.
And this is what you want to see after getting beat by far the worst you have all year. Come out with a vengeance, a 1-2-3 inning to start and then a double, that's a recipe for success for the Mustangs.
Yeah, this is exactly what I talked about when I said there's just no reason for a slow start. I want to see them get out quick. Harrington did his part in the top of the first, and now Bodenhausen trying to get things going for the offense.
Mason Holton batting .233 on the year, but his on-base percentage very high at .446. That one fouled back.
Yeah, some players, even when they're slumping, still find ways to get on base, and Holton is a guy that I would expect to see that average climb up. He had 2 hits yesterday, and the fact that he's kind of struggling right now and still showcases a high-end on-base percentage is kind of shows what kind of player he is.
Here's the 1-1. That one fouled off to the right.
But like I was saying earlier on Martin, he's only thrown 7 innings this year. So although the ERA is down in the 3s, he's his strikeout per 9 is good. He only has 5 strikeouts on the year. I'm interested to see how he does in his first start of the year.
Another foul ball by Mason Holton. He does bat a lot. Holton has 18 strikeouts in the year to 20 walks, so he is a big 3 true outcome guy, walk, strikeout, and does have a home run. Probably the most 3 true outcome guy you can have in the Mink League, where guys aren't hitting 20, 30 home runs a year. It's been another 1-2 offering from Jacob Martin. Pitch taken down. Also, Charlie, you have the same umpire behind the plate as the last couple games. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I do know that the Mustangs struggle to win games at home when this umpire is behind the plate. Both their losses at home this year have come with this umpire behind the dish. So,
a little chin music.
Yeah, an interesting little stat there, but I don't know how true it's going to hold.
I've just noticed with this guy, his zone expands and shrinks. It's just very inconsistent. That's not what you want. That one lined into left field. Bodenhausen's going to come around to score. Mason Holton thinking second. I don't know if he touched first base or not. He's going to stand up at second. And it's quickly 1-0 Mustangs after back-to-back doubles.
And Holton just doing exactly what we saw from Bodenhausen, going up there, putting a good barrel on the ball, and you love to see back-to-back extra base hits to start this game.
I agree. I don't think the camera picked up on that. I'm pretty certain Mason Holton whiffed first base, but it looks like they're not going to appeal. And Mustangs are up 1-0. This is the first lead they've had since Chillicothe a couple days ago. Here's Carson Schrack digging in now.
Yeah,
first pitch breaking ball from Jacob Martin.
They never led last night in the loss to the Clarinda A's.
The last 3 games they lost to the Clarinda A's, as you mentioned, 11-3. They went to Chillicothe the day before and won 4-1. And then against the Carroll Merchants, their arch nemesis, lost 15-11 in extra innings. That was a crazy game. So the Mustangs, 24-4 on the year, but 2 of their last 3 losses coming in the past week.
Yeah, and I mean, earlier in the year they lost 2 in a row to the Merchants, so it's, then they jumped on like a 13-game winning streak. So they can easily bounce back and rip off 10 wins in a row here, and all of a sudden they're 34-4, and so I'm not too worried about this team at all. I'm very confident in their ability to get back on track, and it starts tonight.
Well, it's definitely a great start, seeing the ball really well off of Jacob Martin. He's a 2-way. Martin only has 15 at-bats, though. Next pitch from Schrack is ground up the middle. It's going to be Cy Darnell making the play. That'll be an out. Mason Holton moves up 90 feet to third base.
An out, but still a productive out. You just mentioned moving up to third base in a situation like this where it's still on the bottom of the first inning. You already scored a run. You're not too mad at that at-bat from Schrack.
Now, Charlie, tell me, when you're a runner at second base in that situation, when do you decide to break for third and when do you stay back at second?
Well, sometimes might have to wait till the throw. There, it was an easy read for Mason Holton because Darnell was running towards first.
That one lifted high in the infield. Cooper Walkoff and Dane Gray calling for it, but it's the second baseman Gray who's going to take it, and Jeter Mosey is retired on just 1 pitch.
Yeah, Mose, one of the better hitters in this Mustangs lineup. One of the players who plays every single day. Just got under that one right there.
I noticed with Mose, he is very aggressive early in the count, and sometimes it leads to extra base hits, and other times it leads to first pitch pop-ups or ground balls. I think it's good or bad depending on how you look at it, how aggressiveness you are. But
yeah, and again, Mose, that's just how he is as a hitter, and so you're gonna take the wins and the losses, and that's why he's not the leadoff hitter, right? He's in a cleanup spot typically, just because he can do some serious damage, whether it's on the first pitch or the fifth pitch. It doesn't really matter when you're hitting in the 4-hole.
Kyle Hepburn quickly down 0-2. Jacob Martin hoping to wiggle out of this after the back-to-back doubles to start the bottom half. That one fouled off to the left.
Hepburn and Felix continue to switch off every game. And, I mean, they've both been very productive offensively. You almost want them both in the lineup.
They've done that before where Hepburn would catch and Dom Felix would DH or vice versa. Good way to keep both these bats in the lineup. Dom Felix, and we'll get to it in a little bit, but Dom Felix and Hepburn combined for 5 home runs, which is first and second in the Mink League. Here's the other 0-2 from Martin. Swung on and missed, blew it by him. So the Mustangs strike for 1, but Strand Mason holds in at third. We're going to the top of the second and keep it here at Phil Welch Stadium. Tyler Bermundo and Charlie Marshall welcome you back to Phil Welch Stadium. The Mustangs quickly up 1-0 in this ball game. And leading off for the Renegades is going to be Cy Darnell, their cleanup man, after Aaron Harrington threw a 1-2-3 top of the first.
Yeah, Harrington looked dominant in that first inning, and I look to see him continue it right here.
That one's hit out to Miller in center. Battling the sun, but it should be no problem. And Aaron Harrington, 1 pitch, 1 out.
It's nice when you're a pitcher to have such an elite outfield behind you. And tonight, the Mustangs kind of have, 2 center fielders. We've seen Bodenhausen play center field this year. Logan Miller, one of the best center fielders I've really ever seen, the best one on this team. And then Easton Bruce, not a high talent or not a high pool of, we haven't seen him play a ton this year. But last night we saw an outfield assist from him, and he has a cannon and not the fastest player, but breaks good on the ball, able to track the ball really well out there in left field.
Thing with stats is they don't tell you how great of an outfielder you are just by looking like fielding percentage. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's how many more outs you get than the average person, outs above average, and you don't really measure that. It's just something you have to visually see, either as a fan or as a coach or as a broadcaster, on how these guys make reads. And it's kind of tough in the outfield because you can have a terrible read and the ball drops, but there's no air, or you can have a perfect read and the ball tips off your glove, and that's a play that you should have had. Here's the 2-2 to Braden Hemmer. That was a strike yesterday, but not today. Full count now to the Renegades' third baseman.
Pitch just ran in a bit. Harrington wanted it. Didn't get it.
Here's the full count offering. It misses high. So the first base runner for the Renegades comes via a walk. That brings up Dane Gray, the second baseman. Here's the first pitch, and that pitch misses inside. Harrington, after getting the first out of the inning, struggling to find the zone again here in the second. Quick move from Harrington. Braden Hemmer at first. Not having a big lead.
Yeah, Harrington with the walk there, but it's not something I would get used to as he only has 4 of them on the year in 14 innings of work.
That one blown by Dane Gray. Hemmer only has 1 stolen base on the year. I wouldn't expect him to go anywhere. Good breaking ball from Harrington. Also quickened up his delivery. I wonder if that messed with Dane Gray's timing.
When a pitcher is able to locate a breaking ball with less than 2 strikes like that, it just messes with the hitter's mind a lot. It's hard to look for 2-3 pitches. It's a lot easier if you know a fastball is coming.
Pitch misses just high.
It also sets up pitches like that. So it goes with a high fastball there after a breaking ball. Might lead to another breaking ball right here from Harrington.
Let's see if Charlie is right. Here's the 2-2 to Dane Gray. There's a breaking ball hit. Mose going to second. That's Mason Holton back to Mose. But he's going to be safe. So a fielder's choice. And there's 2 outs now in the top of the first.
I was holding my breath that wasn't going to hit off the helmet of Hemmer.
Charlie, we see some weird things at Phil Welch, but we saw the ball off the helmet, and then we saw the umpire get taken out last night.
Yeah, it was a weird. We also saw lightning warnings. Yesterday's game didn't go well for the Mustangs, and a lot of random factors attributed to that, as well as them just not playing great.
First pitch to the man in the Mink League with probably the coolest name, Cooper Walkoff. That misses high. Fortunately, his name won't come true here tonight, no matter what happens. Here's the 1-0. Good breaking ball inside corner from Aaron Harrington.
And Harrington finally really starting to show that breaker. We saw mostly fastballs in the first inning. Here in the second inning with a runner on base, he's going to his out pitch, that breaker.
There's another breaking ball. 2 in a row, one in the inside corner, one in the outside corner. Might have been a breaking ball from Kyle Hepburn as well, as that ball was in the dirt. Throwback. One, two out to Cooper Walkoff. Fastball misses up and in.
Not the worst miss in the world. A little up, but brushing him off the plate a bit. Sets up pitches outside really well.
Hepburn looks to set up outside. But he's going to go upstairs and blow it by him. The first strikeout for Aaron Harrington. And he gets out of the second inning unscathed. It'll be 1-0. Mustangs head to the bottom of the second. Don't go anywhere at Phil Welch Stadium. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. Easton Bruce leads it off, the 6-hitter tonight for the Mustangs. He's set to face Jacob Martin, as Martin's first pitch misses inside. Bruce making his third start in a row after missing the duration of the season with a back injury. It's nice to see him getting a ton of playing time to try to make up for lost time.
Yeah, I kind of thought that would happen, especially in summer league. You're gonna want to get guys innings. Bruce, obviously, having played 0 innings up until this week, so I would expect more and more of Easton Bruce.
Tough for him. He's gonna probably play 15, 20 games in a row. Very little rest.
Yeah, I hope the back's okay.
Yeah, it's getting thrown in the fire right now.
Yeah.
There any baseball injuries, Charlie?
I've had a couple. I broke my nose this year. Got hit in the face with a ball. A couple other injuries. Nothing too serious. I tore some ligaments in my thumb. What about you? Anything crazy?
Not during a game. I've had injuries off the field that took me out. I guess there's one. When I was younger, I was playing indoor soccer in PE and got undercut and landed on my arm. And genius me decided to pitch the following day. And then I got taken out in the third inning because of arm pain. So nothing directly correlated. Easton Bruce going to reach in a walk. But like I was saying, nothing directly from baseball. Like I was never taken out of a game. Except for the fact it was a pre-existing injury.
It just means you're not playing hard enough.
Okay, Charlie. Trevor McCollum's going to dig in. He's DHing tonight, something we don't see that often.
McCollum's such an elite fielder. It's rare to see a guy like him DHing.
In the pros, they do it for like Byron Buxton because that guy's very injury prone. That one's going to be flared toward Braden O'Neill in right field, but it's a first baseman walk-off. The ball tips off his glove. That would have been a very tough play directly over his head.
I thought walk-off was going to range all the way out there. It wasn't necessarily how far he went. It was how fast he got that far because that ball was not hit that high.
And the direction. He had to go 100% straight back. As an outfielder, you never want to get caught in that position. As an infielder, it's a lot more common just because there's less time. So another life here for Trevor McCollum. 0-1 count. Bruce at first. And that breaking ball misses outside.
McCollum, one of those Washburn guys playing with the Mustangs this year.
Next pitch from Martin. That one fouled back. I actually do remember an injury why I kind of quit baseball in general. I got hit with a comebacker in my foot when I was pitching, probably 100 miles an hour off the side of my foot, my plant leg. I basically planted and then got drilled. Bruised it, took me out for a couple weeks, and then I just was never the same and didn't really want to grind my way back. So I ended up quitting and then playing club baseball, and things turned out pretty well over there. Here's the 1-2.
Ooh.
Pitch at McCullum's head. I don't know how he got out of the way of that one.
I was thinking the same thing.
I always mention the sun being an issue, is both Harrington and Martin missing throws back from the catcher. Quick look over there at first, but Easton Bruce back without a slide. Here's McCollum. Another pitch up and in. McCollum not happy, visibly upset.
Yeah, no hitter wants to see that. No one's ever going to be happy with that, intentional or not. I don't think McCollum has any thoughts of that being intentional, but that's scary when it's up that high, and back-to-back pitches is never a good feeling.
That one's going to be hit out to Braden O'Neill in right. He's camped under this one, and he'll make the play. So it'll be one out now for Jordan Black. Jordan Black on the year slashing 192, 371. That's a 192 average, 371 on base, and a 288 slugging. But he had 10 home runs at Johnson County Community College last year. We're just waiting for him to heat up and be the Jordan Black we all know.
Yeah, he hasn't had a ton of consistent playing time. And as a hitter, he missed some time with an injury right before the season started. So as a player, it can be kind of tough to try and work back without playing every single day, especially when you start off the year a little slow like he did. You know, a couple games in a row where he's in the lineup and we might see him starting to really, put some power behind the swing and drive the ball.
I think it'll be one of those things, too, where he gets one, and all of a sudden the home runs and the extra base hits just start flowing. Easton Bruce does not have a stolen base in his small sample size yet. Although another look there by Jacob Martin, right on cue. Bruce, not the fastest guy in the world, but pretty quick out there in left field. I could see him making a move. Quickly 0-2 to Jordan Black. Good pitch from Jacob Martin.
I always felt as a player that position players had the best pickoff moves. I don't know if you agree with that.
Position players have the
Yeah,
best
like
moves?
when you see position
Middle
player-
infielders, yeah.
And so like with Martin being a two-way, kind of makes me wonder what his pickoff move looks like.
Here's the 0-2. That one fouled to the left. Actually, I would say right-handed two-ways, yes, because typically
as
they're
a right.
middle infield guys. Left-handed pitchers have the chance to really work and carve out their balk move, per se. You don't have to necessarily be athletic to pick off to first as a lefty. And typically lefties are also found in the outfield or at first base, so not going to be as quick as some of the middle infield guys. Another move from Jacob Martin, picked nicely by Cooper Walkoff. That probably saved 180 feet from Easton Bruce. Here's Jordan Black again. Headed to Wichita next year. That one misses high. What have you seen from Jacob Martin so far, Charlie?
Well, he hasn't really blown me away too far with anything, but he has just kind of looked, ever since those two extra base hits to start the game, he's kind of dialed in. He hasn't messed around too much with falling behind the hitters. And so when you're pitching ahead, sometimes you don't need to have the best stuff as long as you're able to stay ahead.
I would say last night was a perfect example of that.
Yeah, it truly was. I mean, we didn't see a base hit in last night's game until the 6th inning.
Luke Spencer only had 3 strikeouts through 7 innings, but really held the Mustangs.
That's a bit of a questionable call there to ring up Jordan Black.
I kept talking because I didn't think that was strike 3. Wow, that's a rough call, but his zone's been pretty big the last couple of nights. Just I think it's up to him when he decides how big. I'll bring up Logan Miller, who's in center field tonight. Jacob Martin, he's thrown maybe like 15 pitches in this inning, and he's thrown over about 6 times.
That's kind of something that a lot of people don't think about when they see a pitcher.
There goes Bruce. And that almost drills Martin in the back, the throw from Jacob Horschmeyer. And Easton Bruce has his first stolen base as a Mustang.
Good for Easton Bruce. Although, like I was saying, there's a lot of times where pitchers are throwing that aren't talked about. So even if a major leaguer's throwing 100 pitches, he's throwing about 6-7 pitches between almost every inning. Every pickoff attempt, every warm-up pitch before they're even on the bullpen pregame. There's a lot of arm. That arm is going to be exhausted by the time you're done with the day on the mound.
Yeah, there are guys who sandbag on the mound who, in their warm-ups, kind of lob it in there. But most guys throw at least 80-90% in their warm-up pitches. It's a lot of stress on the arm. Here's the 2-0 to Miller. 3-0 here. I don't know if he's going to get anything to hit. Probably take their chance with Noah Bodenhausen on deck. It also comes down to stress pitches. If you're throwing with no one on, if you're throwing in your warm-up pitches, it doesn't hurt your arm as much as if you have multiple guys on. That one's lined out to Dane Gray, gets it on a hop, and the speedy Logan Miller out by a step. So a 3-0 swing. but nothing to show for it. It'll be 1-0 Mustangs. We head to the top of the third. Keep it here at Phil Welch Stadium. Welcome back to the friendly confines of Phil Welch Stadium here in beautiful St. Joseph, Missouri. The Mustangs currently the Renegades 1-0 as we head to the top of the third. That pitch fouled back by Austin Evans, the left fielder. And Aaron Harrington, 1-0 on the year with a 1.29 ERA and a good strikeout-to-walk ratio. What else can you tell me about Aaron Harrington?
Well, yeah, the strikeout-to-walk ratio is where it's at when you're looking at his stat sheet.
That one hit pretty deep out to right field. It's going to go foul. Probably had the distance in that short portion right, but no, Bodenhausen couldn't make a play on it.
But yeah, Harrington, 1-0 on the year. This is his 4th game he started so far this year. So he started the year in relief. I think he had 2 appearances out of the bullpen, and since then he's been on the bump. Excuse me, just 1 appearance out of the bullpen. But 14 innings pitched, only giving up 11 hits. You know, the whip's under 1.1. He's looked really, really good this year.
Case in point, swinging and missing is Austin Evans.
And I've talked to Harrington a little bit just here and there, and he's kind of just a guy. He's a really relaxed dude. He doesn't seem to take the game too seriously. He likes to have fun out there. And sometimes that translates to just dominance on the mound.
Another thing with Harrington, he's 6'3", 205, and throws directly over the top. That's a very unique angle for the pitch to come in. We Braden O'Neill now, the right fielder, as Aaron Harrington has K'd back-to-back guys if you go back to the last inning.
This Renegades lineup doesn't have too many holes. I mean, even down here in the 9 spot, O'Neill almost hitting 300.
That's pretty impressive. Could be more of a second leadoff man. We talked about that before. He's also slugging 400, which is bad by any means. Here's the 2-1. Fastball taken just upstairs by Braden O'Neill. He goes to Columbia College, and he was mostly a pinch runner there his freshman year. He's 5'8", 180 pounds. Aaron Harrington in a completely different weight class than Braden O'Neill. Here's the next full count from Harrington. Breaking ball. Caught looking. It looked like it was right down the middle.
I thought it was.
Braden O'Neill trying to deceive the umpire, but it'll be 3 strikeouts in a row for the left-hander Harrington.
Yeah, and you never know. I mean, I think O'Neill knew that one was there. There's no way he didn't. But maybe just, you know, I do the same thing. I take a full count pitch, I'm walking.
This
to
one
first.
hit out to center field. Logan Miller with a great jump. And a great jump to make the play. And Aaron Harrington, through 3 innings, looking sharp. 1-0 Mustangs, head to the bottom of the third. Keep it here at Phil Welch Stadium. Tyler Raimundo and Charlie Marshall welcome you back to the St. Joseph Mustangs live stream. Bottom of the third now, and Noah Bodenhausen, who hit a double and came around to score, leads off for the Mustangs.
Bodenhausen, his first at-bat, just a really well orchestrated at-bat. He went up there looking to hunt early and just got a pull-side fastball and drove it out into left center field.
That's probably why Jacob Martin with a first pitch change up there to Bodenhausen. Here's the 0-1. Going soft again. There's a curveball. And Bodenhausen quickly down 0-2. Bodenhausen stands at 5'8", 165 pounds, and goes to Northwest Missouri State. He batted .271 with 13 stolen bases. But he's going to line out here to the third baseman, Braden Hemmer.
That's 2 at-bats from Bodenhausen, both getting good wood on the ball.
That'll bring up Mason Holton, who has the second of the 2 hits for the Mustangs with an RBI double, scoring Noah Bodenhausen in the first. Here's the first pitch from Martin. Took something off. Holton with a big swing, but out in front. I think this is good for Jacob Martin. Getting his secondary pitches on, first pitches of the at-bats. Different look. Keep these Mustangs hitters off balance.
And that's something you're going to see a lot of from any pitcher the second time through the order.
That one hit pretty well, but hooking foul.
If Martin was to go back out there, especially the 2 leadoff, or the first 2 hitters in the lineup with Holton and Bodenhausen, who both hit him pretty hard in their first at-bats. If you go out there trying to do the same thing a second time through the order, it typically doesn't work out, which is why they'll like to switch things up depending on, bring in some off-speed.
There goes Holton on strikes. 3 pitches. Fastball blew it right by him.
Throw harder. Who knows,
That's Holton's 19th strikeout of the year. Then I bring up Carson Schrack, batting .258 on the year, which is not like him in terms of how he's looked in college. Schrack batted .404 his freshman year, and then batted .348.
Yeah, I mean, his 2 seasons at Coffeyville earned him a scholarship to the University of Arkansas. So, that's a school that spent most of the year ranked number 1 in the country for baseball this year.
Carson Schrack, not the biggest guy by any means, 5'10", 180 pounds. Just maximizes his body and how hard he can hit the ball and how hard he can throw across the diamond.
And there's always been guys like that anywhere you'll ever play. They don't necessarily look like, the biggest guy in the room, but man, they just, they're either on the mound throwing 95 or they can hit the ball 110 miles an hour from the box. And you're just like, I don't even understand how you're doing that.
Here's the 2-1. Looked like some sort of breaking ball that he left outside. 3-1 count here to Carson Schrack. I'd say the prime example of that, it has to be a Jose Altuve.
Exactly. I mean, a guy like Jose Altuve who's, consistently hits 30-plus home runs in the big leagues, and he's 5 feet 4 inches tall. He's a pretty small guy.
2-out walk to Carson Schrack will bring up Jeter Mose. That is a second walk of the game for Jacob Martin. There's also guys on the mound. Marcus Stroman, who throws in the lower 90s. Matt Bush, another guy came to mind. He threw like 98, 99. He was 5'8". Mose on the other end of the spectrum, though, he's 6'4".
Yeah, Mose is not one of the guys who you look at and think he doesn't have a lot of pop. When you look at Jeter Mose, your first question is, how many home runs have you hit so far this year?
Here's the 0-1. That one misses just inside. So it'll be a 1-1 count here to the Mustangs cleanup hitter. Another move by Martin. I feel like I've said that a lot today.
We saw that yesterday too from Spencer. He was he loved throwing over there. I mean, I think throughout the first 7 innings, we saw 2 or 3 base runners, and he threw over like 6 times.
That pitch misses down. It's funny. I said I see that a lot today, and the only guy who's been on first base before Carson Track was Easton Bruce on a walk, but he picked off 4 or 5 times there.
Yeah.
Holden and Bodenhausen both got hits, but they were doubles.
Again, I'm telling you, it's that position player.
There goes Schrack. That ball's grounded, foul. Think Schrack's on the move now on 2-2?
I mean, we just saw him run right there. It wouldn't surprise me if he would win again. As a hitter, it can sometimes almost distract you a little bit when, you know, you see a guy take off in your peripheral vision. You're obviously not looking at him, but, you know, you're hard enough to hit a white blur flying at you and you have a red blur running behind it. It can be a little tougher.
Especially that, and when you're wanting to do damage, but you see a guy get a good jump, it's a little harder to pull the trigger. That one grounded to the second baseman, Dane Gray, and a bad hop. It's going to get by him. There goes Schrack chugging for third, and he'll make it safely. It's going to go down as an error on the second baseman, Dane Gray, and the Mustangs have runners at the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think that's a questionable scores decision. I don't know if I'm giving Dane Gray an error for that in my book. Obviously, my book doesn't mean much, but he never even got a glove on that ball. He had to move to his left and attempt a backhand, and the ball took a bad hop. I just don't see how that's ever going to be an error.
The only argument I have is he didn't get in front of that ball. He had time to, and he tried to be a little fancy, get it on the backhand, and that's why it went under his glove. Here's Kyle Hepburn now. That first pitch misses outside. Mose at first. Carson Track at third. 1-0 pitch to Hepburn. Ball misses in the dirt. Hepburn slugging a whopping .519. You talk about the 3-4 slash line, and Hepburn is the epitome of that. And the only other guy on the team that has that going for him is Darius Freeman, who's not in the lineup tonight, but he has a couple home runs.
Yeah, that 3-4-5 line we've talked about before, where it's where you have an average above 300 and on base percentage above 400 and a slugging above 500, and that's exactly what Kyle Hepburn showcases.
Guy who finds ways on and can hit for power. Here's a 2-1 to Kyle Hepburn. There goes Mose. Good jump from him and no throw from Jacob Horschmeyer. So it'll be second and third for Kyle Hepburn in a 2-2 count.
That's kind of a harmless stolen base for Mose. A really low shot that Horschmeyer is going to come up firing, and now you have 2 runners in scoring position.
That breaking ball backed up on him, but gets Kyle Hepburn anyway. The Mustangs strand 2 as we go to the top of the 4th. See if Aaron Harrington can continue his dominance. Keep it here on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. Tyler Bermundo alongside Charlie Marshall. And while we have the chance, let's look at the standings. The St. Joseph Mustangs currently lead in a 20-4 conference record. Behind them is the Clarinda A's, the Jefferson City Renegades, who are 5.5 games behind, and their opponents tonight. So a pretty big win here for the Mustangs if they can hold on. The Sedalia Bombers are actually now 11-11 because they lost to the Carroll Merchants in the first game of a doubleheader in 5 innings. They're in the second game of the doubleheader as we speak. The Warren County Crop Dusters are 9-16 in conference. The Chillicothe Mudcats 8-15, and the Nevada Griffins out of winning the Mink League. What else can you tell me about the standings, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, after the loss last night, the Mustangs now only have the Mink League by 4 games. Still a comfortable lead. The Renegades trying to do what the A's did last night and turn that 5 games back into 4. And, you know, so far we're seeing some good baseball. I mean, this Renegades team is good. It doesn't surprise me at all that they're in 3rd place in the Mink League.
And anyone can beat anyone. The Merchants took care of business against the Sedalia Bombers and have beaten the Mustangs 3 times. There's back-to-back pitches from Aaron Harrington, almost catching the ankle of Jacob Horschmeyer. Be a full count here to Horschmeyer. Good breaking ball. Gets the sword.
The sword. Put that one in the stat book.
That's Harrington's 4th K. And he has 4 Ks in the last 5 batters.
Yeah, Harrington loves the strikeout. He uses it a lot. I mean, obviously everyone wants to use the strikeout. Not many can.
I really like how much he's using his curveball now. Going to it to start the at-bat, going into finish the at-bat. When you got a good one like that and you could spot it, good things are going to happen.
Yeah, it's clear that the Renegades hitters aren't comfortable at the plate, and that's because of how well Harrington's mixing the fastball in there with the curveball.
Here's the 1-1. He's also got a lot of sink to that fastball, especially when he hits the outside corner with it. Here's a good question for you, Charlie. What would you rather have as a pitcher, assuming you can throw strikes? Velocity or movement?
I would take velocity. Another strikeout for Harrington.
Looked like it was a changeup. Number 5 for Harrington. 5 of his last 6 batters. Why velocity, though?
I mean, it's more fun. You know, you're more likely to go farther the harder you throw, especially if you can locate it. I mean, movement's fun for sure, but I'd rather just throw 100.
See, I disagree. It depends on how extreme you go. Like, if you throw 103, okay, you can probably argue velocity is a little more important. But if you throw 97 and it's flat, I think that's a little easier to hit than a guy that throws 90 to 93. That's absolutely disgusting.
That's fair. But, I mean, I feel like 93 is still velocity, so I don't know. You know, like, that's still pretty good velo. Especially if you're, you know, throwing the cutters and the sinkers and mixing it really well.
3-0 taken all the way from Cy Darnell. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a line out to Logan Miller in center. Here's a 3-1. 3-1 breaking ball misses downstairs, so the Renegades will have a 2-out walk, bringing up Braden Hemmer.
Harrington's 2nd walk of the game, only had 4 coming into today.
I was going to say his strikeout to walk ratio was pretty much spot on. He had 5 strikeouts to 1 walk. Now it's 5-2. Not too far off either. He just needs a couple more Ks. We'll be right back on track.
Harrington throws that ball over to first pretty firm on his pickoff. A lot of guys typically just take some off it when they toss it over to first, but not Harrington.
Good jump from Cy Darnell. And Hepburn could have had a perfect throw, but it wouldn't have mattered. So the Renegades will have a runner on second and an 0-1 count for Braden Hemmer.
We've talked about it before. Pitchers who, you know, some of them like to read when that runner's going as a lefty. Some of them just, you know, they decide before they pick up the leg if they're going to pick off or not. That's a good block from Hepburn. But Harrington just kind of goes home with it. You know, he knew before he picked up that leg that he wasn't picking off. And so Darnell goes on the first movement and Yeah, stole the base pretty easily.
I'll watch out for Darnell here. He's getting a little bit off of second base, trying to time him. Smart spaghetti there by Harrington. Because the second Carson Track vacated, there was no one there.
And no one was holding him on.
There's a no-look set from Aaron Harrington. Harrington does do a good job of that. Mixes his looks and his timing in terms of how long he comes set. And that can mess with a base runner a little bit just because they get so antsy. And that's when people, they talk about timing up the pitcher. If they have the same hold time, you can basically predict when you need to take off for a stolen base.
Sometimes the best pickoff is just a hold. You know, it's the best way to keep your runners in check. You don't even have to pick off. But if you hold the ball for 6-7 seconds, they are going to be swaying all sorts of ways.
Be a 2-2 count here to Braden Hemmer. He walked back in the second.
And you're looking at Harrington right now, just holding the ball.
And he's going to get Hemmer swinging. So he strikes out the side, albeit a walk from Cy Darnell. But that is the 6K for Aaron Harrington. And we go to the top, go to the bottom of the fourth. Don't go anywhere on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. Easton Bruce lead off for the Mustangs in the bottom of the fourth. Tyler Marundo and Charlie Marshall welcoming you back to the St. Joseph Mustangs live stream. The Mustangs lead it 1-0 thanks to a double by Mason Holton all the way back in the first.
When we started the game, I thought maybe some fireworks or a fireworks show in the first inning. Credit to Martin. He's dialed it in, and he has not let those first two hitters of the game distract him at all from his game plan.
Yeah, Martin trying to keep the fireworks show till after the game. It is Saturday night. Fireworks every Saturday night here at Phil Welch. Here's Martin's first delivery to Easton Bruce. And he takes him off of it for a first pitch strike. Yeah, Martin's not the type of guy physically as well as his velocity that you'd expect to be a dominant pitcher, but when you can get ahead of hitters like that, it spells good things for you. That one's lifted out to right field.
It's going to be a tough
It's going to be foul, except it's caught by the right fielder, Braden O'Neill. So Easton Bruce retired on just 2 pitches. That'll bring up the DH for tonight, Trevor McCullum. Trevor McCullum with a similar stat line to Mason Holton. Decent average, but a very high on-base percentage. What does that tell you as like a coach or maybe someone on the other team?
Well, it just tells me that he's typically going to stay a little within himself right here. He's, it's a little bit different between Holton and McCullum because McCullum's sitting about 45 average points higher. But he's just trying to get on base, and that's exactly what kind of player McCullum is. Typically in the outfield, going to play great defense, and at the plate, he's going to get on base, steal some bags for you.
biggest difference between Holton and McCullum is Holton's ground ball to fly ball ratio is 1-3. So that one's going to hit McCullum. But Mason Holton, for every one ground ball, he hits 3 fly balls. Trevor McCullum's pretty even.
Well, that doesn't really surprise me. But that also, Holton, he likes to go up there and swing hard. And so sometimes that causes you to dip that back shoulder and just kind of shoot them straight up into the air.
Yeah, big power guys like to have that little more launch angle. For us mere mortals, Charlie, we prefer to hit the ball on the ground.
Us weaklings.
Did have 2 home runs this year. Adds to my total of my career to 4. Ironically enough, I had 2 home runs last season. They came in back-to-back at bats.
That's kind of crazy.
No, another crazy one. I've hit 4 home runs in my life, but I've hit for the cycle. So just timely home runs, I guess. I have a multi-home run game. There goes McCullum. He's going to make it easily. Horschmeyer can't handle the pitch. But I have a couple of cool accolades, a cycle and a multi-home run game.
Man, you're just a great baseball player, aren't you, Tom?
I was just going to say I have timely hitting. I didn't even bring up any of the stats this year. Here's Jordan Black, struck out looking back in the 2nd inning. It's going to be a 2-0 count to him here. Don't sell yourself short, Charlie, though. I remember that home run you hit back in high school.
Yes, my home run in my last weekend of high school baseball of my life.
That one's driven into the gap and going to get past Cam Lee in center field. Trevor McCullum going to come around to score. And it's an RBI single for Jordan Black here in the bottom of the 4th.
Here we go, Jordan Black. Love to see more of that from him.
Jordan Black is hitting 192 going into this game, but that's going to help out the average, the on-base percentage, and the RBIs. Next up is going to be Logan Miller, the center fielder here. Grounded out to second his last time up. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball misses a hair low.
That's Black's 14th RBI on the year, which puts him tied for 3rd or 4th on the Mustangs.
That one's going to be hit a mile high. And Braden Hemmer, the third baseman, going to grab it. So it'll be 2 outs. You mentioned Jordan Black is 3rd on the team in RBIs. That's very impressive considering his average. It's timely hitting.
Yeah, and especially with he doesn't have a ton of at-bats either this year. I mean, he's up to 55 now on the year. I mean, a good amount of at-bats, but there's players on the Mustangs teams who have a substantial amount more than that. Some guys are like Jeter Mosey almost has 90. So the fact that he's able to tally that many RBIs is very impressive.
I wonder what his average with runners in scoring position is, because it's got to be pretty high. Noah Bowden has a line drive in front of Braden O'Neill. So perhaps a 2-out rally here for the Mustangs. And Mason Holton's going to dig in. It's true. So that's Noah Bodenhausen's 2nd hit of the day.
Nothing's better than a 2-out rally in baseball. And the Mustangs are on the verge of that right here. Need Mason Holton to come through.
It's going to spark a mound visit for the Renegades.
We talked about how much Holton likes to, try and put the ball over the wall, just kind of go up there and take some serious hacks. This is a situation where you would like to see him maybe not do that and try and just drive a ball into the gap for a single, bring in Black. Extend this Mustang lead.
At least in the later part of the at-bat. If he's got a hitter's count, I don't mind him swinging. We know he has the power. He has a home run this year, and he had a couple in JUCO. As we get to maybe 2 strike counts or quickly down 0-1, then we'd like to see a nice, easier hack. But if he wants to go for the 3-run bomb and he gets the pitch, I'd love to see it happen.
I would also love to see a 3-run home run right here.
Are you calling a 3-run home run?
No,
Charlie?
I'm just saying I would love to see it. I would love if it happened.
Here's the pitch to Mason Holton that you can't see because we're zoomed in on the pitcher. Thank you. I don't know if our cameraman heard me or not, but right on cue. Here's the 0-1. It's a great breaking ball on 0-1. Front hipper. Started at Mason Holton's belt and broke to the bottom inside corner.
Yeah, not much Holton can do with that. 0-1. You want to be aggressive, but still probably a smart take. And now you just got to go to battle here with 2 strikes.
Here's the 0-2. Some firewood. It's going to be a tough play. And off the glove of Cy Darnell. So Mason Holton shortening up, I guess. Shortening up the bat, that's for sure. As he has a 2-out infield single.
With 2 strikes, man, you're just trying to put the ball in play. And that's exactly what Holton does here. And that was almost one of those situations where the bat went farther than the ball.
Jacob Martin trying to make a play on the bat. Because Cy Darnell couldn't make a play on the ball. Be Carson Schrack up with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th. Schrack with 19 RBIs in the year, but looking to add to that total by a lot. Big swing from Schrack, but that's going to be fouled off to the left side. Most impressive thing about Schrack's game, he has the most at-bats on the team now with 92. 91. He's only struck out 3 times.
Yeah, that's really overlooked. That's very impressive.
That one's popped up, and looks like Jacob Martin's going to get out of this. Austin Evans makes the catch, and the Mustangs have left 3 men on base here in the bottom of the 4th. That adds their total of 7 in the first 4 innings. We come back. Aaron Harrington will be on the bump, and it's trivia time. Don't go anywhere on the at Phil Welch Stadium. Welcome back to the friendly confines of Phil Welch Stadium. The Mustangs lead the Renegades 2-0. As it'll be Dane Gray for the Renegades trying to start a rally for the visiting team. Here's the first pitch from Harrington. And he's going to throw it right by Dane Gray. Dane Gray reached on a fielder's choice his first at bat. As that pitch misses downstairs. Dan Gray trying to get his average back over the 300 mark. As he's in a good hitter's count now, 2-1.
Aaron Harrington is working extremely quick right now.
I don't have time to look down at my notes. Here's the next pitch to Dane Gray. Changeup. Aaron Harrington thought he had him. But he's going to have to walk back to the mound in a full count.
Harrington looking to avoid his third walk of the ball game.
To avoid his third walk, but instead gets his 6th K. Just kidding. He fouled it off. I didn't see it. I was just maybe predicting the future, Charlie.
6th K.
Well, way in the future. This one's flied out to right field. And under it is Noah Bodenhausen. Now that you have the chance, Charlie, it's time for our Mustangs trivia.
Man, am I excited for this.
The question, what was the Mustangs conference record in 2023? A, 24-20, B, 27-17, C, 29-15, or D, 31-13?
Well, I know they had a good year last year. Despite not winning the Meek League Championship, they lost in the World Series Championship game for the Meek League, whatever you want to call it, to the Jefferson City Renegades. So the problem is all of these records indicate a pretty good season.
I'll give you a hint. The Renegades, believe it or not, went 20-24.
I did see that. But I'm going to eliminate 24-20.
That one hit pretty well by walk-off, but it's going to go foul.
I'm going to eliminate number A. I like maybe to eliminate 31-13 because it's the only one in the 30s. And that just leaves me with 29-15 or 27-17. And I just absolutely know it's 29-15.
Charlie Marshall is correct.
Wow.
29-15 was the Mustangs' record last year. And it looks to be improved on this year. They already have 24 wins.
Man, I'm hot. Undefeated on trivia since being back.
So you're one for one for one?
1-0 or 1-1.
Cooper walk-off in a 2-2 count here. He's from Missouri Southern. He's a freshman. 6'1", 215 pounds.
Walkoff likes to, get the bat waggle. He has a lot of stuff going on up there in his stance. Some hitters like it, some hate it.
Maybe it distracted Aaron Harrington, as that is the third walk of the game for the Mustang starter.
In the end, he slows down and gets to a similar spot as everyone else, but it's interesting how all these hitters, they have such different motions. When you look at Austin Evans now, look how much quieter he is than what walk-off was going on.
That's what I love about baseball is guys of all different shapes and sizes can have such different mechanics, and it all works out for them, whatever works best for that player. I don't like how coaches think you have to have a perfect swing, because the reality is there's many different ways to have a very good swing, and there is no perfect swing. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, ground to Mose, just foul. This is Austin Evans in the 0-2 count. He's in danger of striking out again. He was the taco hitter, and he already gave tacos to these Mustangs fans.
That's very kind of him.
How courteous. Doing things for the greater good is Austin Evans.
Evans is the one hitter in this lineup where his stats offensively kind of lag behind just a little bit, hitting in the low 200s.
It's going to go even lower. That is called strike 3 on Austin Evans. His second strike of the day. He now has one looking and one swinging. And like I predicted earlier, that's Aaron Harrington's 6th strikeout of the ballgame.
Good prediction.
You mentioned average. We should look at the team averages in the Mink League.
That's a great thing to take a look at.
The Clarinda A's, with a sizable lead, hitting 307 as a team, that's why they're in second place. That's really impressive. But the Renegades and the Mustangs right behind them. And honestly, the Mustangs are trailing there, but out hitting the Renegades 5-0 right now.
Yeah,
They probably overtake them.
The Mustangs have climbed into that second place spot.
That one hit out to Easton Bruson left. And Aaron Harrington has worked 5 shutout innings here. When we come back, we will talk more about the averages. Keep it here at Phil Welch Stadium. Tyler Bermundo and Charlie Marshall welcome you back to Phil Welch Stadium, where the Mustangs have a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the fifth. Jeter Mose is set to face the new pitcher. It's going to be Connor Heed. He's 6'3", 180 pounds. Here's the 0-1 to Mose. Fouled back. He just pitched 4 innings this year, giving up 2 runs, no earned, but a good start to his afternoon as he gets Mose on 3 pitches. Starting pitcher Jacob Martin went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, walked 1, and struck out 4. First pitch to Kyle Hepburn misses down and away.
Hepburn, 2 strikeouts already today, so just kind of right here needs to just maybe tone down the swing a little. I mean, I guess you don't want to change your swing, maybe just an approach shift right here. The new pitcher, he's seeing some new eyes, so this should be good for him. See, I don't think he was seeing Martin too well.
Hepburn with 11 strikeouts on the year, and only 4 walks. So a guy that does have power. He has 2 home runs, but a lot of swing and miss in his game. Here's a 2-1. Good breaking ball, misses just down. Good hitters count here for Kyle Hepburn. Here's 3-1. Big swing from Hepburn. That is driven deep out to left field. And it's going to go. Kyle Hepburn with his 3rd home run of the year. And it gives the Mustangs a 3-0 lead.
That thing left the park the minute it left its bat. No doubt about it for Kyle Hepburn.
Kyle Hepburn now tied with the Mink League leading 3rd home run. And he's tied with his other catcher, Dom Felix.
Yeah, Kyle Hepburn went up there, changed absolutely nothing, and just crushed one. That's what a player like him can do. Gonna, like you said, a little bit of swing and mess. But, man, when he connects, it goes a long way.
Maybe a little antsy after that home run. Easton Bruce swings at a changeup in the dirt. It's quickly an 0-1 count. But, yeah, that ball got out in a hurry. He knew it. Left fielder gave a courtesy jog. But that ball was out by a good 20 feet.
If you're Heed coming into this game, it's obviously not what you wanted to do, but now you have to just accept the fact that it's happened, move on from it.
There's a breaking ball, swinging bunt. The catcher, Horschmeyer, going to have to make a play, and he barely gets Bruce out. He was flying down that line. But after the home run, Heed settles down, and it'll be 2 outs for Trevor McCullum.
And that was a really, really good play right there from Horschmeyer. That's a tough play for a catcher to make. He had to go out really far, about halfway to the mound. A ball I almost thought Heed was going to take himself, but Horschmeyer did a good job getting around the ball, getting his momentum towards first base before he even fielded the ball. That way he could put everything he had into that throw.
And one thing you didn't even mention is all the gear he's wearing. That makes it way harder. Or am I crazy?
No, us catchers just find a way to get it done.
1-1 count now to Trevor McCullum. That breaking ball misses 2 feet outside. Here's Connor Heed. Changeup grounded to the third baseman, Braden Hemmer. Quick shuffle. And he's going to get McCullum. Not before Kyle Hepburn strikes. And the Mustangs lead it 3-0. We head to the top of the 6th now. Don't go anywhere on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. The Mustangs up 3-0 against the third place Jefferson City Renegades. And leading off is going to be the center fielder Cam Lee. Batting around 400, but is flied out twice to center field.
You guys are getting a great look at Phil Welch in all its beauty.
Good crowd out here tonight. 1-0 count here to Cam Lee. Aaron Harrington in the sixth inning. That one's grounded to shortstop Holton. And he loves to throw on the run. He's going to do it here and barely gets Cam Lee out. Man, that play was close.
Yeah, Holton doing what he does best, fielding on the run, coming in, tough play. Took a strong toss from Holton, and that's exactly what he gave us.
So that's going to bring up the catcher, Jacob Horschmeyer. Horschmeyer is over 2 on the day with a strikeout. Harrington has 6 strikeouts in the 6th inning. Those are Horschmeyer's stats, but very inflated with only 16 at-bats under his belt. Now 18, including this game. His name's so long I couldn't even fit it on the graphic. Here's the 1-0. And somehow that was called a strike. Another questionable call here. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball. Grounded up the middle past Holton as Harrington was able to take a no-hitter into the 6th inning. But Horschmeyer breaks it up.
Unfortunate. The second time this year we've seen a Mustang pitcher lose his no-hitter in the 6th inning.
Ironically enough, yesterday the Mustangs were able to break up a no-hitter. Was it in the 6th inning?
It was the 6th inning. Last 6th inning, you know, it appears to be the inning people lose it here at Phil Welch. At what point do you start to, like, kind of notice it? It's got to be about the 5th or 6th inning, really.
6th inning, I'd say you get through the 6th inning, and then it's in the back of your mind. It's a pitcher. Before that, you're just cruising.
Yeah. I mean, every pitcher ever who throws a no-hitter, you know, they'll tell you they weren't thinking about it at all. You know, they were just dialed in, but there's no way.
It also depends on the situation. It's still a 3-0 game, not a blowout by any means. Then there was the day Reed Detmers on the Angels threw a no-hitter. And in the top half of the inning, you had Anthony Rendon with his highlight as an Angel hitting a left-handed home run off of Brett Phillips. That's the time where you're probably thinking about it just because so much is going on. On the flip side, if you got a 2-0 ball game, you're just thinking about winning the game first, no-hitter second.
Wonder how Reed Detmers is doing now.
That hurt, Charlie. That really hurt. Reed Detmers, I believe, is in AAA. That one swung on and missed by Jack Holubowski. Be a 2-2 count.
Holubowski just an all-around, you know, good player. He leads his team in walks, hitting up about 280 with an on-base percentage, almost 500.
It's going to go down there as Aaron Harrington gets his 7th punch-out of the ball game. 6 of those 7 punch-outs via the swing and miss.
Well, Harrington just has such electric stuff that it doesn't surprise me at all that we've seen this many swing and miss strikeouts tonight.
Sidernell going to lift one over the head of Schrack, but he's going to make the play anyway. I don't know where the runner on first was going with 2 outs, but the Renegades do get their first hit, but their first run is going to have to wait. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mustangs up 3-0. Don't go anywhere on the St. Joseph Mustangs live stream. Tyler Ramundo and Charlie Marshall welcome you back to the friendly confines of Phil Welch Stadium, where the Mustangs hold a 3-0 lead to the third place Jefferson City Renegades. Jordan Black is going to leave it off. While we were on the break, you missed the St. Joseph Mustangs dice roll. And while Tyler Ramundo may not know anything about baseball, he sure knows his dice roll. As he said right before they rolled the dice, it's going to be a 6 and a 4, Charlie. And what do you know? It was a 6 and a 4.
A 6 and a 4. It was a 6 and a 4. I'll give you that. But that's, I think, the only thing you've corrected in your entirety of Phil Welch guessing.
Hey, I guess Aaron Harrington would have a 6th strikeout when he had his 5th strikeout in the 5th inning.
That's fair. You did, in fact, predict that.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Misses outside to Jordan Black. I really wish you got that on camera. I was going nuts.
I mean, to be fair, it's a it's a tough prediction to get.
Well, it's 1 out of 6. It's 1 out of 36 chance. It might be higher than that.
Are you trying to math it up right now?
Well, 6 to the second power. So 6 squared, 36. 1 out of 36 chance because you have 1 out of 6 chance on one and 1 out of 6 chance on the other.
All I know is the Mustangs are winning 3-0.
It's a 3-1 count. Jordan Black. Tyler Ramundo showing off his math skills in his journalism major. Didn't know they would come in handy.
I always knew they would.
Here's a 3-1. Breaking ball misses outside of Jordan Black. So the second time he's reached base, it'll be Logan Miller, who's 0 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, I love to see Jordan Black back-to-back at-bats where he finds a way on. Last at-bat was a base hit, now it's a walk. The signs of a potential Jordan Black heat-up coming.
Yeah, Jordan Black needed it, probably more than anyone else in this lineup. Either him or Holton, and both these guys have been on a tear the last couple games. First pitch, Logan Miller up and away, called a strike. Logan Miller at State Fair Community College. And he hit over 363 there. Not having that success in the Mink League, though. Quickly down 0-2. You mentioned the averages. Mustangs hitting around 275, probably closer to 280 at the time of this game. But Logan Miller only hitting 151.
Well, Miller, he's a player where his defense is always going to get him a spot in the lineup. And right now, anything you get from him offensively is kind of a bonus. But in general, a guy that you would like to see hit for a higher average. You know, using his speed, put the ball on the ground just like that and just dig it out.
Is Charlie going to – he correctly predicts this one. Cooper Walkoff does a great job of making a diving play and picking that ball. It's not going to get it out on the play, but at least keeps the runners at bay. That's going to turn the lineup over for Noah Bodenhausen, who's 2 for 3 on the day.
So your 8 and 9 hitters who are both hitting under 200 on the year find a way on base for the top of your order, and this is where things could get scary for the Renegades and Meade on the mound.
While the Renegades haven't had much offense, their pitching has kept them in this ballgame enough to where it doesn't feel like they don't have a chance to come back. But if Noah Bodenhausen can deliver an extra base hit here, things will look really bleak for the Renegades.
Well, the Renegades has been a team all year that has been led by their pitching, but they have the bats, and that's why they're in third place in this league. Although tonight Harrington has just mowed through them.
Noah Bodenhausen with a good bunt. Connor Reed going to have to make a tough play, and everyone's safe. Back-to-back infield singles, and the Mustangs have them loaded here with nobody out.
Yeah, beautifully placed bunt there from Noah Bodenhausen. And you just absolutely love to see that. He went up there trying to hit a sacrifice bunt, put it in too good of a spot. He's going to take the base hit.
That was actually my last high school at bat, was a sacrifice bunt that ended up just working out as a hit. Here's Mason Holton. Breaking ball kind of hung up there. Holton was thinking about it, but decided not to go. So it'll be a 0-1 count to the Mustang shortstop. Here's the next pitch from Heed. Fastball outside corner. And while he did load the bases, doing a great job of getting ahead of the Mustangs two-hitter and Mason Holton. That one, similar spot on the outside, just a hair lower. That makes the count 1-2.
Holton in his last at bat, he did go down 0-2, but found a way on base. So, love to see him do that again right here.
That one's going to get it past Jacob Horschmeyer, and everyone's going to move up base. Jordan Black coming in to score. 4-0 Mustangs.
Still no outs. Remember that.
So it'll be Logan Miller at third and Noah Bodenhausen at second.
And as a hitter, when you work it back, even you start to feel a little bit more control up there. You're down 0-2. You kind of have to go into more of a protective approach.
Holton's going to drive this one to center field. Good jump out there is Cam Lee. Coming home is Logan Miller, and the speed of Miller too much for Cam Lee. It'll be 5-0 Mustangs thanks to a very loud sacrifice fly.
Yeah, Holton caught that one right on the screws. Unfortunate for him, and went right to center field. But for the Mustangs, that's going to be a sacrifice fly, and everyone's happy.
He catches that a hair or two lower. He's thinking double, maybe triple for Holton. That's going to spark the end of the day for Connor Heed. New pitcher when we come back, and we'll tell you all about him. Don't go anywhere on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. "5-0 Mustangs" is your score, as Carson Schrack's going to dig in to face the new pitcher. And from one Connor to another, Carson Flagg taking over for Carson Heed. Carson Heed's final stat line is an inning and a third pitched, 4 hits, at least 3 runs. He's responsible for Noah Bodenhausen at second. 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and gave up the home run to Kyle Hepburn. Flagg has not pitched yet this year, but is the number 4 in at-bats for the Renegades, so a two-way guy.
Yeah, and I was watching him warm up, and he was bringing it pretty good. Threw a couple curveballs, so definitely, he's definitely pitched before, and he's used to it.
That one by Schrack is hit and caught. Coming in as Austin Evans. So Flagg, in his first pitching appearance, has his first out. I'll bring in Jeter Mose, and he's normally a force in the lineup for the Mustangs. He's currently 0 for 3 today. Popped up to second, reached on an error by the second baseman, and struck out. Here's Mose hoping to turn that around. That pitch misses high, and moving up 90 feet is Bodenhausen.
Yeah, with the guy on second and 2 outs, not the biggest pass ball in the world on Horschmeyer, but still not a good sign.
Yeah, I guess looking at the positives, though, is no Bodenhausen probably going to score on any hit with 2 outs at second. So now at third, you don't have anyone worried about picking signs or making you feel uncomfortable. Bodenhausen not going to steal home, so.
He could.
He's not going to steal home, Charlie. Here's the 1-0. Mose swings to that one. Imagine all of a sudden I go, and there goes Bodenhausen for the plate. But I wouldn't see a straight steal. Maybe on a throw back to the pitcher, but here's the 1-1 to Mose. That one hit straight up. Getting a screen from the umpire is Jacob Horschmeyer. Then running into the wall. That's a pretty painful way for you to miss a foul ball. It'll be a 1-2 count here to Mose.
We see it again tonight. The umpire, in the way of the play going on. Yesterday he ended up on the ground. Today, nothing he could really do about that one, as he doesn't know where the ball's at back there, and Horschmeyer's just trying to make a play on the ball.
That play yesterday could have been on like the SC Not Top 10. That was hilarious. Completely took out the umpire on the slide home. Had to get up and then make the call. Here's the 1-2 to Mose.
Big at bat for Mose right here.
Pitch from Flagg misses outside. Draws the count even at 2-2.
The difference between 5-0, 6-0, not crucial, but just in terms of keeping the momentum up, not leaving any runners left on base.
And he's going to leave a runner on base. Mose goes down swinging. That's his second strikeout of the evening. But not before the Mustangs strike for 2 more. It'll be 5-0 as you head to the top of the 7th. Keep it here at Phil Welch Stadium. Frank Gall takes over the pitching duties after an outstanding outing from Aaron Harrington. He went 6 innings, only giving up 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, and struck out 7.
Yeah, Harrington looked really good tonight, and the box score is going to show it. I mean, the stats you just read off were phenomenal. 0 runs allowed. That's the goal for every start. You know, I kind of thought we were going to see that from Harrington. Harrington now almost has that ERA under 1 on the year. And with how many innings of work he's had so far this year, that's an impressive feat to keep an ERA that low. That's now his 4th start on the year, and he's thrown 20 innings.
Giving up only 2 runs. Pretty impressive. Also shorthanded him. He had 8 Ks, not 7. That'll be Frank Gall, who was the starting right fielder last night, out on the mound. He's only thrown 1 inning and gave up 1 run.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Gall pitch. In college, he pitched, you know, a solid amount, a good 2-way. So I'm kind of waiting for him to get on the bump here at Phil Welch.
Here's the 2-1 from Frank Gall. Breaking ball misses inside. Yeah, so he hit 392 as a hitter and started 11 games on the mound with over a 10 K per nine. Pretty good numbers for a guy having to do both.
Well, that's what led to him winning the Maple Woods Athlete of the Year, the Male Athlete of the Year.
That one's hit pretty high. Jordan Black going to take a look, and it's going to go foul by about 2 feet. Frank Gall, a smaller guy, though, stands at 5'11", only 170 pounds, about 4 inches shorter than the starter, Aaron Harrington.
As a 2-way player, when you're pitching, you know, Gall plays the outfield. On those fly balls like that, are you still taking the pitcher motto of get out of the way, or is it, you know, are you looking to make the play?
Braden Hemmer's going to walk, but I'm taking that ball all the way.
Yeah.
I'd be the kind of guy, if there's a pop-up, I'm calling people off. I'm very confident in those plays because I play the outfield. I'm sure Frank Gall's the same way.
I mean, the way he went after the foul ball, typically you don't see pitchers run all the way over to the netting down the third baseline to catch a foul ball.
I'll bring up Dane Gray, the second baseman, who's 0 for 2 in the night. And a first pitch strike there from Frank Gall.
Gall walked Hemmer, but still he was around the zone. His misses were just off the plate.
Here's the 0-1. Good breaking ball, misses down and in. Gall's got some good stuff, though. And really, if he wasn't a hitter, he'd probably have a lot more innings under his belt on this team.
Yeah, sometimes when you do both, you just lose opportunities on the other end, especially during summer ball where everyone's just trying to get their innings in.
Frank Gall, the only true 2-way player on this team. I guess you count Darius Freeman, who did log an inning under his belt, but Freeman didn't play in the field. Or, sorry, he didn't pitch at his college. Definitely played the field, I can tell you that. Freeman threw nice, though. He probably threw like lower 80s. Good changeup and good run on his fastball. Here's the 2-2 to Dane Gray. That one with pretty good wood, but Miller taking a couple steps to his left. And that's the first out for Frank Gall here in the top of the 7th. Here's walk-off now. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. And to be honest, he reached base today. That's better than what a lot of people on this Renegades team can say. First pitch taken on the inside part of the plate. Frank Gall working on the inside, not something most pitchers do. What does that change your approach for as a hitter if a guy's pounding you on your hands?
Well, especially with these wood bats, it's a pretty smart approach. A lot of these guys, everyone's still in college, so when they're not playing Mink League, they're hitting with aluminum bats. And so if you're a Gall, you know, it's smart to take advantage of that and try and work in on these hitters' hands. And as a hitter, you just have to be wary of that, and you cannot get caught off guard because, one, it's going to hurt more, and two, it's not going to go as far. And then you might have to end up buying a new bat.
Well, that one's on the inside part of the plate, but the second hit of the afternoon for the Renegades comes from Cooper Walkoff. A good swing through the 5-6 hole. The biggest difference between wood and metal bats isn't necessarily the pop, as wood bats maybe take off a mile or two, but the biggest difference is the sweet spot, and really the miss hits as well. Is if you catch one of the screws and with a wood bat, it goes pretty far. You catch one 2-3 inches off the meat of the bat and ball goes nowhere. BB core bats, you can typically get away with that.
Yeah, although the BB cores, I mean, slowly but surely, at least at the college, high school level, they try and make them more closer and closer to wood bats every year.
They do, but they don't though, because you're trying to give as a manufacturer, you want to make something.
No, absolutely, but in terms of what's allowed and stuff like that, they close down on them every year. I mean, 10 years ago, the bats were, that people were hitting the ball way harder than they do now, just because of the bats.
Yeah, the stamp they call it a Beser, B-E-S-R, and those things were not only 5 to 6 miles an hour harder, but the sweet spot was bigger too.
Have you ever swung any of those bats?
Oh my! I did swing a Beser once. It's like a trampoline.
It has those ping sounds you don't hear much more. Now these BB core bats sound like wood.
Thing is, that the USSSA bats, the ones that are for the youth, those things are juiced.
Oh, those launch the ball, yeah.
I hit one with that hype fire like 106 miles an hour. That's at least 13 miles an hour up from what I can hit with a BB core. Doesn't really matter what bat Austin Evans uses tonight. That's his third punch out in as many at bats. The first strikeout of the evening for Frank Gall.
Shh, give him a hype fire, man.
To swing and miss with?
Yeah.
Be 2 outs now for the 9-hitter, Braden O'Neill. Gall's first pitch misses downstairs.
And this is where it's nice to have a guy like O'Neill in your 9-hole. 2 outs, you need a base hit. Typically, your 9 spot isn't, one of the better options in the lineup for it. But in this case scenario, you have a guy hitting almost 300.
And a 444 on base percentage as well. Counts even at 1-1. Braden Hemmer at second. Cooper Walkoff at first. That pitch, a couple inches high. What do you think about Frank Gall's performance thus far?
I kind of expected him to come out here and throw pretty good, and that's what he's doing. He's giving up the 1 hit to walk off. He walked his first batter in Hemmer, but he's looked good at doing it at least. You know what I mean? He's been around the zone. He's mixed in the off-speed well, and he's throwing pretty firm.
Good breaking ball there. It's going to make the count 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 count.
And although O'Neill is a good option, you don't want to.
You don't want Cam Lee to hit, but he's not going to. Fly ball out to Logan Miller. The Mustangs have shut out the Renegades for 7 innings now. We go to the bottom of the 7. Keep it here on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. Welcome back to the friendly confines of Phil Welch Stadium. Tyler Bermundo joined alongside Charlie Marshall. And leading things off is Kyle Hepburn. And with his home run, he matches Dom Felix for the most in the Mink League. He has 3. The guy on the Renegades, interesting story about him, he has 2. As Mr. Croc over there has 26 at-bats, 20 strikeouts, but 2 home runs. Really incredible stuff. He's a catcher. It's Thomas Croc. Other guys to note, Darius Freeman has 2. Jordan Brandenburg on the Carroll Merchants has 2. You got Humphrey on the Griffins. Woo. I haven't really seen much of him because the Griffins aren't very good. Hepburn, after hitting a home run, goes down and strikes for the 3rd time tonight. So
Weird game for him, but that's just kind of how he plays sometimes. You're going to have, a couple home runs, sometimes a couple strikeouts, A 1-for-4 game with a jack is a pretty solid game in my book.
I agree. And then you got Grant on the Sedalia Bombers with 2. So that is the home run leaders in the Mink League. Dom Felix and Kyle Hepburn at the top.
Unfortunate for Hepburn, the graphics are made pregame, so.
That one's hit pretty well by Easton Bruce, but not well enough. Tracking that down is Cam Lee going 40 steps to his left. And quickly 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. Trevor McCullum 0 for 2 on the day, but was hit by a pitch and scored back in the 4th. Normally a center fielder, he's DHing tonight. That first pitch misses outside.
Sometimes you'll see managers maybe with hitters who are struggling.
Hold that thought as that one's grounded to the shortstop side Darnell. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Connor Flegg. Go to the top of the 8th. Mustangs still lead it by 5. 5-0 is your score. Keep it here on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. Welcome back to the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. Cy Darnell trying to get some sort of rally for the Jefferson City Renegades. Taking over pitching duties is the 3rd lefty of the evening, Michael Infranca. Frank Gall went 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, and a strikeout.
Yeah, and Franca on the year, his numbers aren't going to blow you away when you look down at the page, but as of recently, he's looked good out of relief. Wouldn't you say so, Tyler?
Yes, he pitched on Wednesday and got 4 outs and 4 batters. Good job by him. We also noticed he changed his stretch, as watch how he comes set now. It's kind of interesting. Quickly ahead on the leadoff man, Cy Darnell, 0-2.
And it's pretty rare that you're going to see a pitcher make that big of an adjustment mid-season like this. But if you're in Franca, he had a pretty good year in college, but he's struggled so far in the Mink League. And so a little change sometimes makes all the difference.
Breaking ball misses high, but that's not really a mechanical adjustment more than just how he's coming set. Maybe it's a mental thing, a little ritual to help him out, kind of calm the nerves down, but it's working for him so far this season. It's going to work here again. A changeup gets Cy Darnell swinging as the leadoff man who was batting near 400 has dropped his average with this 0-for-4 day. I'll bring up Jacob Horschenmeyer, who has one of the 2 hits for the Mustangs. He's 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Franca, first pitch curveball, first pitch strike.
Yeah, and Franca just looks like a completely new pitcher out there. And it's not necessarily like you said, a little adjustment on the coming set, but just the swagger, confidence he's pitching with right now. You know, he's coming set almost like firmly in a way, and he's locked in. He's going at these hitters. He's not messing around. There's the breaking ball. He's throwing the fastball, both for strikes.
That was a struggle with in Franca before, as his fastball location was weary at times. But now that he has the breaking ball, he can throw that any time, set up the fastball, as now he throws a high fastball. As I expect him to slow things down here and keep Jacob Horschenmeyer off balance. He's going to do just that. Breaking ball in the dirt. Kyle Hepburn loses the handle a bit, but no problem as Michael and Franca has struck out the 1 and 2 hitters back to back.
Yeah, typically on a curveball in the dirt like that, you want to see Hepburn, gather and either step inside or outside of the base path, let his first baseman know which way he's going to go. But when you bobble, sometimes you just got to let it eat, and that's exactly what Kyle Hepburn did. Good
At the
play
same
from him.
time, he kept his composure, which is not the easiest thing to do when you make a play anywhere in the field where you kind of bobble one and you got to regain yourself, not to compound the mistakes. There's in Franca, another first pitch strike with a breaking ball. And like you mentioned, he's a different pitcher. Jack Holubowski going to sky one to center field. Not that far, though, as the second baseman Carson Schrack calls for it.
Good play in center.
It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Michael and Franca with 2 Ks. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mustangs to lead at 5-0. Don't go anywhere on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. That's Jordan Black hitting now for the Mustangs. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk and an RBI single. Hoping to heat up as he faces Connor Flegg, who has set down the first 5 men he's faced. Flegg's going to step off. See all the mascots here at Phil Welch. You got the Padre from the San Diego Padres, as well as Mickey, Goofy, and Donald Duck. There's also the Rally Mustang, the Mustangs mascot been around, the Baby Mustang. I've seen Joy from Inside Out. Everyone's here. The Saint. All the mascots come congregate here at Phil Welch.
You're forgetting about the most important Mustang, or the most important mascot.
Who's that, Charlie?
The Tenderloin.
Oh, you're right. You would know better than I do. I have not called a Tenderloins game yet.
You're missing out.
Tenderloins 2-0 on the year.
Never lost a game that I've called.
Unfortunately, now we both have losses as announcers. That one hit pretty well by Jordan Black. Going back a couple steps is Dawson Evans. And that's the first out of the bottom of the 8th.
Black crushed that one. Just too much launch angle. He had skied it into that night sky.
I'll bring up Logan Miller, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Connor Flegg set down the first 6 men he's faced. That fastball misses upstairs. Here's the 1-0. Miller with a seeing eye line out. The depth perception is off today. I thought that was definitely over the second baseman, Dane Gray, but he makes the play.
Yeah, Miller just caught that one off the end of the bat, so it looked and sounded like it was better contact than it really was.
Thank you for not embarrassing me there, Charlie. I embarrassed myself.
Sometimes with those wood bats, those balls off the end of the bat like that can break the bat. You don't really think about it too much.
I'm going to wait for this one to land, as that one's a fly out to right field. Charlie Marshall gets cut off again. It'll be 5-0 Mustangs right at the top of the 9th. When we come back, we will tell you the upcoming schedule for your St. Joseph Mustangs. Keep it here on the Phil Welch broadcast. Todd Bruno and Charlie Marshall welcome you back to Phil Welch Stadium. It's a 5-0 ball game, and Denton Biller takes over pitching duties. Kind of interesting as he's mostly a starter, but might get some bullpen work in a live setting.
Yeah, this is the first time Billers came in relief all year. He has 4 appearances. All 4 were starting the game. I mean, he's been outstanding while starting. ERA under 2, ton of strikeouts. And last time versus the Renegades, he pitched well, Tyler.
Yeah, 3 innings, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts. And that was his first start of the year. Biller from Johnson County Community College has looked great all season. He's quickly ahead of the 4-hitter Cy Darnell. And much like the rest of his counterparts, Cy Darnell, hitless. 0 for 2 with the walk.
Yeah, and if you're trying to get your first hit of the ball game, Denton Biller is not exactly the ideal pitcher to do it off of.
That pitch misses up and in.
Especially out of relief. I mean, Biller's bringing it right now.
Yeah, he'll pick up a tick or two. A guy who probably touches 90 already might be sitting 90 now. I like this, though. For a guy who probably wasn't going to start tomorrow, has a chance to get some work in and then get him back ready for a start next week.
Speaking of next week, let me take a look at what's to come.
So the Mustangs, after finishing up tonight, will take on the Carroll Merchants at Carroll. That'll be on the Carroll Merchants Mustang. That's wrong right there, but they'll be on the Carroll Merchants broadcast. And then they will take on the Clarinda A's, hoping to get some revenge after they beat them 11-3 last night. And that'll be on the Clarinda Iowa A's baseball live stream. Then they will take on Chillicothe, and that'll be back at home with Charlie and I on Wednesday. And the following day they play the Sedalia Bombers, 7 o'clock on the Mustangs live stream. So sorry about the graphic mix-up right there. But that's your upcoming schedule. And hopefully the Mustangs can take care of business here. There's a gross curveball from not from Kyle Hepburn, caught by Kyle Hepburn, from Denton Biller. The Mustangs just 2 outs away from dominating the Jefferson City Renegades.
Yeah, a game I thought would be a little closer than this. I mean, with Harrington on the mound, I liked the Mustangs' odds, but I did think the Renegades were going to be able to piece together a couple runs at some point in the night. And, they're just 2 outs away, and Denton Biller can slam the door on them right here.
First pitch to Braden Hemmer is downstairs. Braden Hemmer having a good day by today's standards. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. So reach base twice.
Biller likes to throw that hard slider a lot of the times to righties. We saw it in his last pitch. One of those pitchers that the velocity on the fastball translates really well to their breaking stuff. Some guys will throw pretty hard with that firm fastball, and then they'll lob in a curveball that's substantially slower. But with Biller, I mean, that slider is probably within 8 to 7 miles an hour of his fastball,
and has a ton of movement with the high spin rate. There it is again. That one's grounded foul. The Mustangs and Renegades. The Mustangs are 3-0 in the series, hoping to make it 4-0. A couple games have been close. They won 3-2 at home. And then in Jefferson City, they won 3-0 on June 11th. And then on June 19th, destroyed the Renegades 11-2 here. And although this is only a 5-run game, this has been pretty much domination all night.
Yeah, it hasn't been, two-sided. Very one-sided game. They haven't struggled with the Renegades all year, but the team they have struggled with a little bit is up next. So, I'm interested to see now they have to go on the road to Carroll if they can, keep this going and put those 2 losses in their last 3 games behind them.
Here's the 2-2. Good breaking ball is skied out to center field. Logan Miller with a good jump.
Are you
and
kidding
making
me?
a spectacular diving play is Logan Miller again. A little shaken up, but wow.
I'm just speechless, man.
I think you saw the play that Kai Holiday made last night and wanted to outdo him.
I mean, that might be better than his first one.
His first one was eerily similar, but this time he had to go another 10 feet maybe. He's limping out there. Be unfortunate to get a replacement after that catch. They probably are going to take him out. Trevor McCullum going to try it out to center field, but did he make that injury worth it? He definitely did. What a play from Logan Miller. Clapped all around here at Phil Welch, and for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, truly a beautiful play. And Miller just continues to do it defensively out there in center field. He just mans that position so well.
I would even argue he's better than his counterpart that just went out there. Trevor McCullum, a great outfielder in his own right. But
I think it's impossible after some of these plays he's making to not, crown him as the best defensive, center fielder on this team.
A really strong possibility to crown him the best center fielder in the Mink League. I think first guys to come to mind are Rafael Calcano and Kai Holiday. But Logan Miller just gets such good jumps and has great closing speed and really isn't fearless out there. There's been a couple of diving plays that look like they had to hurt. So coming up now is Dane Gray, and what do you know? He's hitless, 0 for 3. As the Renegades second baseman reached on a fielder's choice and is flied out to both Miller and Bodenhausen.
Miller needs just one out to wrap things up here at Phil Welch right now.
He's quickly behind 2-0. Biller with his hat falling off. Probably got a nice head of hair, though. That happened to me when I had long hair, as my hat would fall off every time. Here's the 2-0. That one's in there. 2-1 count.
It's hard to see on the camera, but Hepburn doing a wonderful job receiving these pitchers that are, at the knees, making them look even better for the home plate umpire.
And a pitcher's going to love to see that as well. They want guys who can call pitches, trust their pitches, as well as steal a couple strikes. Hard to steal that one, though. That one's in the dirt. 3-1 count here to Dane Gray. Cooper walk-off awaits on deck.
Question is, will Cooper walk-off get one more at-bat tonight?
Ugly swing from Dane Gray. I really wish that was the final strike, but Denton Biller going to need one more. You can hear the bells here at Phil Welch, as there also be a post-game fireworks show.
Yeah, if you've yet to come out to a game at Phil Welch, got about the second half of the season left to do it.
Spoiling that one away is Dane Gray, so full count coming again from Denton Biller.
Gray making him work for it. He's not giving it to him easy.
One of the best at bats all night, coming in with 2 outs in the top of the ninth. Excuse me. If they battled like this the whole game, it might be a different score. Full count pitch to Cam Lee. Taken upstairs, Biller not happy. As you mentioned, Cooper Walkoff will now get a chance. And Cooper Walkoff having a good day. Struck out in the second, but has reached on a walk and a single. Infield is back as Dane Gray going to move up to second on the defensive indifference.
I hope he's proud of himself for that one.
I like how you don't get a stolen base for that. It's not deserved. Guys are playing back all the way, and really I don't understand why he would be taking third. It'd be really funny if he got thrown out of nowhere. 0-1 to Cooper walk-off. Fastball just away. Hepburn set up more inside, and that pitch missed outside. With the win, the Mustangs would improve to 25-4, and the Renegades would fall to 16-11. 16-10 in conference play. Here's the 1-1. Off the glove of Hepburn, Biller gonna head to home plate, so Dane Gray stays at third. as Biller struggling to get the last out of the ball game here after setting down the first two guys pretty quickly.
Now, if you're Biller, obviously not in too much danger in terms of losing the ball game, but coming in the 9th inning when the rest of the staff has pitched a shutout, you want to keep the shutout.
I wonder if there's pitchers BP waiting if they do preserve this shutout. Here's the 2-1. Right by walk-off. And Biller now just one strike away here in this 2-2 count.
There's just no reason to mess around with anything else. He's clearly late on that fastball.
I go with it again and just elevate it a tad. 2-2 home. Swung on and missed. Biller gets him with a fastball. And the Mustangs bounce back and beat the Jefferson City Renegades 5-0 here at Phil Welch.
Biller just locking in there to walk off, able to execute exactly what we're talking about up here. Blows the fastball right by him, walk off with no chance.
And he's going to have to walk off the field. When we come back, we'll have the Mustangs post-game show with Charlie and Tyler. Don't go anywhere. Keep it here on the St. Joseph Mustangs broadcast. Welcome to the post-game show with Tyler Marundo and Charlie Marshall. And Charlie, it was nice to see the Mustangs win a stress-free game for the first time in a while.
No, I agree. Wasn't too much nerves up in the booth for us tonight. We, from the beginning, 2 extra base hits to start the night. It cooled down a little bit. Able to put up 5 runs. A great game, especially on the mound. Offense said enough. I like to think 5 runs should win you every game, and tonight it did.
Yeah, you got the start with Aaron Harrington, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, a shutout for the team. And Franca came in, looked great. Denton Biller closed it out in the 9th. And just a great all-around pitching performance. In terms of the hitting, what did we see from our guys that we need to carry over into the game against the dreaded Merchants tomorrow?
Well, it's just the good of just clearing your mind. So last game struggled, did not look good offensively. They put up a couple runs late, but they never really got going. Tonight, quick, jump out in front. Don't waste any time. Keep the same approach. Be aggressive early, especially in the beginning of the game when the pitcher's going to throw you more fastballs than when he's, grooving late. So I like what they did tonight, getting out to an early lead. It kind of, I think, calmed the whole team. Harrington on the mound. Offensively, when you're winning, it's just a little easier to hit. And so I think the key for them to keep going is just stay hot early.
I would say also stay within themselves. They kind of got rallies going, put together strings of hits. But you can't forget Kyle Hepburn's bomb. He did go 1 for 4 with 3 Ks, but the one hit he had, he did make it count. 5-0 is your final score at Phil Welch. The Mustangs go on the road tomorrow against Carroll, and that'll be on the Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network. And we come back here on Wednesday. So keep it here at Phil Welch Stadium, and we'll see you then.